Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. We're gonna jump right into it. So in part one, we pinned the closure down, we did the measurements. Now we're about to sew the closure onto the cap, so stay tuned. Okay guys, I am back. So disclaimer, I'm not a great braider, but me can't help myself. So this is what I did, and that's what I meant. But I couldn't find hair ties. I feel like this one, like, now I'm kind of like seeing that it's not really that flat. Right, perfect. You see how flush that is? And maybe I need to pull this down. And if it's not flat, you can always either pull from the front, pull from the side to make it flat. The back is flat, and you see how even that is? That's what we want, right? You see how even? Because look at the pins sitting exactly on the outside of each other. That's what we want, right? That's how flat. So you're gonna need, oh come on, I'm struggling to catch it. So you're gonna need thread, polyester thread. I used to use nylon thread. I got that tip from an OG YouTuber. I don't use it anymore, at least I don't have it here with me, but yeah, whenever I get recommendations to use anything, you know, I always try them. But I don't have nylon thread, so if you have nylon thread, you could use that too. But this is polyester. This is my needle. Now you could use, this is my needle. Hopefully you can see that. You could use 2-3 needles at a time. When I was hand stitching back in the day, I used to use at least 3 needles. You know, I'll ensure that I have them, you know, what do you call it? What's that word? I can't find the word. But I usually just make sure that they're all ready for me to use. And then I have them ready so I don't have to stop and re-stitch. Not re-stitch, but thread. That's the word I'm looking for. I just have like needles thread in advance, and I usually go long, just, you know, well, not too long, because I find that whenever you go too long, I'm about to cut it. Whenever you go too long, it starts to bunch up and get tied up and stuff like that. So what I do, I leave it like this. The ends are uneven, so this helps to reduce like the stitching to be bulky. This is how I learned. I only tie one end, not two. Okay, and this is how long my thread is. Super long. So that way I won't need to go in and re-thread my needle. So I'm gonna show you one more time how flat this is. Make sure the key to a flat cap, flat, right? Because when we're done sewing this under here, the cap, that's the excess that's gonna be under here after we're done sewing, is gonna be, we're gonna cut that piece out. And once that piece is out, all you have is just this, and it has to be completely flat. If it's not flat, then your closure is gonna be bunched up. It's gonna be ripple, like it's gonna have this little ripple thing, and that's not cute. So I usually sew from one end to the other to help keep, as an extra security, to keep the cap flat. You don't have to do that, but this is the way I do it. So when I started making wigs, I used to start from here, and I find that because I have to secure it with a knot, the knot itself would leave an indentation here, and it used to hurt a lot. So I don't do that anymore. So what I do is I start an inch or two away from this flap here, right? And I start, and you can sew up or under or over or under if you like. To me, it doesn't really matter as long as it's stitched tight and neat. Also, I do not sew inside of the band. So this thick piece here is the elastic band. What I do is I go in and I only sew through the fabric that's on top of the band, and I make like a knot. I do that again just to secure it, and sometimes I'll go around the needle to create that knot. That's extra step of security, and I pull it tight, and that's it. Like I said, you could go over or under if you like. Me, I do either way, it's fine to me. I just want to make sure that it's secure. Also, I try to sew as close as possible as I can because I don't want any gaps. And like I said, do not sew through the band because it will prevent it from stretching, because that's elastic, right? And you just stitch the thread. And sometimes what I do, I'll pull the fabric up to help me to grab that little piece of fabric that's at the top, and I go all the way to the end. Make sure you pull as tight as you can, but be careful because like I said before, I don't want to do that. Like I said before, but I put it under. This particular lace is very, very fragile. And you see, if I don't, it's all the way to the end. And what I do, that part I was telling you about, I sew where it's comfortable for me. So what I do, I go all the way back up. And this, oops, I'll be right back. I want to get this out the way. There we go. So I usually go back down and I start sewing till I get to the middle of the cap. As you can see, I'm only sewing through the fabric and not the, what do you call it? I'm not sewing through the elastic band. And while I'm sewing, I'm ensuring that I'm pulling tight so it's secured. Oops. Oops. Yeah, it can be a bit rough. So this is what I meant by not doing it too long, because it does get matted a bit or tied up a bit when you pull. Hence why I use this finger to hold, so it keeps it from, tangling up together. That's the word I'm looking for. Tangle up. So this part will become easier because the band is not here. So all I do is just sew. And sometimes, like I said, I pull the fabric up. It makes it easier for me to see. Guys, I'm gonna be honest with you guys. I do wear glasses sometimes. I have astigmatism, and when the light is a bit too bright or too low, it's hard for me to see. And because the fabric is so thin, sometimes your girl struggles, But I love making wigs, so I make the best of it. And fun fact, I used to ventilate during the pandemic, and I found that it put a strain on my eyes. It's something that I wanted to master, and I think if I had kept at it, I would have mastered it more. But it took a toll on my eyes, and maybe I think also I did not invest in the right tools, because I think I needed, at the time when I was researching, I saw where I could have invested in like one of those magnifying glasses that you could wear on your face. It had a light and everything, and I think that would have helped me a whole lot to see, because basically it's lace. It looks just like this, or the lace here, and you're crocheting the hair inside, and it's really small, right? So it was, my eyes were my eyes hated me, and I did not want to continue doing that to myself, so I ended up stopping. I'm just grabbing a butterfly clip to help me get the rest of the hair all the way. So yeah, guys, so I am going to speed up this part because it's pretty much repetitive, and I'll be right back when I get to the middle, to the back here. I'll be right back, guys. Water break, you guys. Full of water. Okay, guys, I am back. So I am almost in the middle. Hopefully you can see. This is the line, and I'm right here. So when I get to this point, sorry guys if you're not able to see. When I get to this point, this is where I do a little knot to secure it. And guys, if the thread happens to be getting shorter, like for instance, it's like this, hopefully you could see, just pull the thread to make it uneven. It makes it longer, and then you basically start from where you were before. Because like I said, I only knot one end, I don't knot both, and I leave one end like this. So each time that the thread is getting smaller and smaller, I'm able to just pull. As you can see, I'm able to just pull, and it gets longer. That's what we want, because the thicker it is, the more bulky the hair will be, and we don't want that. At least that's how I do it. So I knot here. You could give it another knot if you want, just to make sure that it's secure, and make sure you pull, because that's just gonna tighten it. And then I cut, not too far down, because it will come apart. And then I knot again. So this piece, as I was telling you, I used to sew at the complete end here, and it used to like hurt the side of my temple here, and I didn't like that. So because of this, I don't start here anymore. I start here, come here, and I go back. I know it's weird, but that's how I do it. So as I was saying before, when I stitch, I don't go all the way around. I found I used to do that even when I did this, securing it. Maybe I was doing it wrong, who knows. So when I was securing it with the pins, I found that it used to be super uneven. So what I did, I'll stitch one side first, stop in the middle, and then I'll start from here. And I believe I learned that from another wig maker, which made sense, and I've been doing it like that ever since. No, it might be more work doing it like that, but that's how I like to do it now. So, and then you wrap the thread around. You could do it once or twice if you like. I find also, but it's up to you, but I find also that on this side, going over instead of up, yeah, going under instead of up, or is it over? Hold on, let me see. Going under actually instead of going up, it works better for me on this side. I don't know if because I'm right-handed and this is the, sorry, I don't know, yeah, I'm right-handed and this is the right side, so it's easier for me to stitch this way. I go faster than going under on this side. I don't know why, and I think it's the opposite side for me as well. When I'm on the opposite side, it's easier for me to go under than up. Don't know why, it's weird, but yeah. And as I said before, make sure you go completely to the end, because we don't want this piece to flip up. For this part, I only go over the needle once, because as we said, we don't want that. Just pick another spot, wrap it around, and then redo it. And then we go back up. This doesn't have to be close because we already secured it with the first couple of stitches that we put in there. So it doesn't have to be close. I just need to get it back to the beginning here, and then we start sewing as close. You remember how long the needle was, guys? This is why I do it like that, so I don't need to be rethreading one needle so many times. I swear, whenever I go over, I go so fast, because see, I'm already here. I'm already like almost passing the band. Make sure you pull as you go down, and make sure you're grabbing the lace as well as the cap. Don't just be stitching away. Like, I don't know if you could see, because if I pull it up, you'll see that the needle is inside both the cap and the closure, the lace of the closure. So guys, I'm also going to speed this part up because it's pretty much repetitive. So we're just stitching around until we get to the back of the closure, and that in the middle of that line that I showed you before. So I'm going to speed this up, and then I'm going to come right back. Soon come. Okay guys, so I am back in the center at the back of the head now. Like I said, with the line, I stop here, so I'm actually at the last stitch, and I am going to lock it in by going around. And this is what I meant by going around the needle. So this is the needle, this is the thread, and I go around once, twice. I try not to do more than that, because if you do, the knot is going to be too big, and we don't want that. And you just pull as tight as you can. Sometimes I'll even go in and give it a single knot like this. And pull. I like doing that, sorry. And then I cut the thread. So remember how long that thread was? So that's one of the reasons why I only use one thread. Like, even though it's double, I use only one end to sew, and I just pull when it's starting to get shorter and shorter. So just in case you guys didn't understand what I meant before, so for instance, this is how people usually sew, right? They knot both ends like this. So both these ends would be knotted together. I don't do it like that. What I do is I make sure it's uneven, and I only knot one end, which is this, and I leave it like this. So each time I'm sewing, I'm able to just pull, and it gets shorter on this end, but it's also getting longer on this end, and it makes it easier. Like I said, that technique for me makes the closure less bulky, because remember, you're going to be stitching bundles around this, and we don't want, when the hair is like folded over on here, it's not bulky. It causes it to be bulky, and it creates like this helmet effect here, and we don't want it, because remember, if you're going to be wearing it in the middle here, it's going to come over, and we don't want these pieces to be bulky. So that's why I do it like that. So this is the finished result of how to stitch your closure down. And then when I'm done, I usually just take these out, but I am going to show you guys how to add your guidelines. So guidelines are very, very important when you are about to stitch your tracks on. Now if you're a pro wig maker, you won't really need to do this, but I still do it because it helps a lot for me not to add too much hair, or it just helps me to keep in line. So in the next video, and this is why this handy little gadget, I wish I had my actual green one because this is no longer my brand color. I can't find my other. My brand colors are green and yellow, similar to the Jamaican flag. And if you guys don't know, I am Jamaican. Yes. So these are my brand colors. Before it was pink and green, and when I started my business, or started doing everything in my business, I used to buy stuff that were both representation of my brand colors, which was pink and this color pink and green. But I can't find my green measuring tape, so ignore the color and this, please. But anyways, guys, as I was saying, in my next video I'll be showing you how to add guidelines on your cap, which helps you to stay on track with sewing down the tracks on there. So I'm just going to show you how this looks. You see how neat that is? That is exactly what you want. That is exactly what you want. And don't worry about it being like looking messy, because when you sew the track on here, you're not gonna see it, trust me. So yeah guys, this is the end result of how I stitch my closure down, and I'll be coming back to show you how to add the guidelines to the cap. I don't know, I might do this as a little series of how I completely make a glueless wig. If you guys are interested in that, please let me know in the comments. And thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.
Catch me in the whip, ride with her. Hey, sipping something, bumping big, hypnotized with her. Pray you get that job in time, bro.